Millennial pause or not, I don't know. Welcome to the Public Access Podcast. I'm Rusty Diamond, your host, and I'm here with my special guest. My special guest is Sebastian Kayne. Sebastian, welcome to the show. Thank you
Rock
for
and
being
roll.
here. Rock and roll is fucking right. Uh, so we were talking about Calgary here right before we
Okay.
started, and so maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. Uh, when did you know that Calgary felt like home, or does it feel like home, or does it still feel like a place
Oh,
that
it felt
you're?
like home right away. I like
Uh,
within I think the first time that I actually went outside of the house, and it was today I went downtown onto Stephen Avenue to go busking, and it just felt right. Like it felt
okay,
like people are friendly. People will talk to you. Like when you're on a train and going into town, people are just the most friendly I've seen in any um, city kind of form, right? A lot of the time, little towns, you get a lot of friendliness, but in big cities, people tend to be very standoffish, and here they are not whatsoever. Yeah, so I mean, it was very welcoming right from the get go.
that's cool as shit. Yeah, I mean, like most cities, it's keep your head down, or don't look at anyone, just
Oh
fucking
yeah,
go,
yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah.
there in Calgary, it was not the case. Just people were ready to go, man. Fucking
Mhm. Yeah, they're
okay.
very, very, very good people here. I find, yeah. So
Yeah,
very happy. I think it's because no one's stressed because Alberta's known to be the better of provinces, I'd say, for Canada for economy wise, right? Because we have all the oil, we have all the and I'm saying we like I've been here the whole time. That's how much home it is. But yeah, we have oil, we have all the resources that we need. Like they all come from here.
yeah,
That whole thing with the separating Alberta thinking of separating and all that. If that would
yeah.
go great for Alberta, it would go terrible for Canada. Canada would go bankrupt so quickly if that happened, but we'd be fine.
So there's sort of like the Texas
Yeah.
of Canada.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly
Okay,
right. Yeah.
all right. Yeah, because I mean, yeah, if they can just
The
you
oil and
know
all that stuff.
be,
Yeah, that's where I know Texas, like Houston, they've got the offshore oil rig companies there, Transocean. That was my dad was in that one. And then
oh
and all that.
shit.
Yeah,
Okay, he
yeah.
was an offshore oil
Oh
rig
yeah, yeah.
guy.
Actually, funny story. He, the big oil spill that happened in the Gulf of Mexico back in 2007. There,
The
going for like a
BP
good
was
two
it?
weeks or whatever like that. Like it was just flowing for 2 weeks into the Gulf of Mexico or the Gulf of America now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, that one. Freaking
Okay.
yeah, there was a movie on it. Mark Wahlberg was in it and everything like that as well. I can't
Oh,
remember what the movie is called now.
me
It's just
neither.
I got my memories terrible these days. Rock and roll partying, but
Yeah. Right.
nonetheless, that ship used to be my father's ship. He would because he was the operations manager for the company, so he would have multiple ships that he'd be working on, and then he would make them the best in the fleet, and then he'd send them back out. So my dad had done that with this one, and then he ended up, some long story there, but he ended up passing away in 2005 from something that happened in Brazil, and that's where he was stationed. And then 2 years later, that ship, when BP came in to do their check on the ship. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
the BP oil spill is what it was called, I think. And it was Horizon was the name of the ship, um, a Deepwater
Oh,
Horizon. And but yeah, so they came in and they didn't really obviously do a good check because they knew that it was the top one on the fleet, and so they were just kind of not doing a good job, and then that happened, and lots of lives were lost that day, and yeah, it was terrible. But that used to be my dad's ship, that exact one. So that's a crazy.
oh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Okay, holy shit. I don't know if you want to talk about this. So you said your dad,
Yeah, yeah, I'm fine
something
talking
happened
about it.
in
Yeah, he was
What
actually
happened in
shot
Brazil?
dead down there. Yeah, he was shot dead in his own house, and no one ever got caught. I'm pretty sure there's one of two reasons to why or to who would have done it, and but I'm not gonna say anything on air about, like, I'm not gonna throw names around or anything because that could be defamation if it's not true.
Yeah, but
Yeah, yeah.
oh, okay, holy shit.
Yeah, yeah. It was back in 2005. It's been a long time now, 21 years. So, yeah. And actually, that the anniversary was the other day as well for that, August 7th. So, as it was August
Uh,
7th, 2005.
so
But yeah,
that was right, like right before Hurricane Katrina. Not that that's fucking, like right at the same time.
mhm.
Um, so okay, so holy shit. So
Yeah, I've had a life.
you, yeah. So that okay. So what were your was your dad from Canada as well, from over in
um,
BC somewhere?
Originally
Or
from England, Liverpool, if I'm
oh,
correct. Or no, Newcastle. Sorry, yeah, yeah,
okay,
Newcastle is where he was from, and then he came over very young, I think it was, and my grandmother came over, and they decided to live here. I think it was like after the war, the World War, and everything. In the I think they came in like the 50s. So my dad was just like basically born almost when he came over. So I mean, he was
yeah,
Canadian citizen, an American
okay,
citizen because of the company. He was British citizen and a Brazilian citizen. Like, I mean, like he had been all over the world. Like I'd been to Nigeria with him. That was that was
what
an interesting one.
what the fuck did you do in Nigeria? Did
They had
you
oil apparently, and
oh
my there we would have to get escorted by cops with a cop pickup truck in front and behind us everywhere we went. If we wanted to go, if the businessman at his work, um, which they were mainly white people from out of the country, if they
yeah,
wanted to go to a restaurant, they would have to clean the restaurant out of all of the just normal the locals, and it wasn't because we were being racist, it was because we would get
yeah,
shot dead. so
yeah,
so
that's
like, and that's
fair
the reason I
reason.
go to Nigeria. So like that's like, it's not like it was like the backwoods of, or back, whatever you want to call it, of Nigeria
Right.
either. It was in their biggest city. Yeah, so
Holy
it was
shit.
it was interesting though. Like I don't get scared by these things. I find it all
Yeah.
very amusing because I sort of like the way that I look at things is all through intuition a lot of the time, and all through just like I picture my like through my eyes as if it was a movie. That's what's gotten
Okay.
me through and helped me a lot of the time with like things that other people would be frightened of or something like that. Like that would make someone not want to go back to Nigeria, you would think, right? They'd be like, well, obviously we're not really welcomed here, so. And yeah, even our driver, he had like a little 9 millimeter or whatever in his crotch that he would have, because people will try to come up and they'll ask you for money at gunpoint. And even if you give them the money, they'd still shoot you. I don't know, that was 20 some odd years ago. So I mean, maybe it's different now because of, like, the internet and everything like that, and the world's more connected now. So I don't know,
Yeah.
but like that back then, it was pretty. You had to be on your toes, like we lived in a
Sure.
condominium, like, or complex that was like very well guarded. And my dad actually lived in a complex that was very well guarded in Brazil when he was murdered. That's why I have my certain suspicions of certain things there. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So were you living with him, or were you visiting over there, or what was
I
going
yeah,
on?
I visited when he was in Nigeria. I went there for 2 summers in a row, when I was
Oh
15 and
shit.
16, and then um, Yeah, but Brazil, I lived in Brazil multiple times. I love Brazil. I always will love Brazil, even though with that happened, a lot of people would get a bitter taste in their mouth. It
Yeah,
wasn't Brazil that did it. I know that much. It wasn't just some random thing. So like I don't blame Brazil for the death of my dad. Like it's a
yeah,
beautiful place. The people are so happy. Well, once again, 20 plus years ago. I've heard lately it's a little different with the whole dictatorship thing they got going on down there or something right now. But
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Be a
But
bit different.
like they're very happy people. They love dancing. They love to just like and they're very patriotic. Like almost every single song you'll hear the name of their country. Like there's like be singing
Sure.
and then suddenly Brazil will get into it. Like they love their country down there, and they should because it is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. Yeah,
Yeah, and so I mean that's something that's kind of cool about Canada too. With like with uh, a lot of entertainment stuff like that, they have to use a certain amount of Canadian stuff, which was pretty neat. Because I remember there being some songs that, like I hadn't heard, but then I'd go up there and it's like, oh yeah, this is a huge song because of so and so. Like at this, like they have to put this much
yeah, Matthew
Canadian.
Good Band and bands like that, or like Our Lady Peace, which we think are like. I mean, back in the '90s, like we thought those were like huge bands that were like world famous or something like that, or even Tragically Hip. Like, have you heard of the
It,
Tragically Hip?
the hip, yeah, I mean, like, dude, I only know about them because of Trailer Park
Because of,
Boys, and
yeah, yeah,
that's the only reason why I know about the
exactly.
hip. But I mean,
Like
that's what everybody in Canada
that
knows.
band should be worldwide known because of like how Canadian they were.
Yeah,
First off, and two, like they beautiful musicians. Like they were all very like they were the top of their game. And, like like they should have been right up there with Rush, who obviously
right.
everybody knows about those. I mean, anyone who's got a good taste in music, I'd say, would know who
Yeah,
Rush is, or like Brian
right.
Adams, or Sarah McLachlan. We've got certain ones that the world knows, but yeah, Celine
Yeah,
Dion, Justin Bieber, Nickelback.
and so I mean, yeah, I mean, but then yeah, you had something like the Tragically Hip, like like
Yeah,
that's
our
it's a
our
whole
little hidden
fucking
secrets. Yeah,
yeah, and
yeah,
but I mean, yeah, that's just something that you can't really like that there's that pride for it, and like and too like then you see a lot of people with a lot of people with Canadian everything all over them. I don't know if they have them as much. It's not always in the songs. Or I thought you said
yeah.
thongs when you said that they had Brazilian stuff, Brazilian all over their thongs, but you said songs.
Oh, oh no, yeah,
Uh,
down in Brazil they do, not up here though.
right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but I mean, yeah, like that. Able to be pretty into Brazil and being
Yeah. I mean, if I was from
enjoying that.
there, I would be too. Like, I mean, like whenever I'd go down there, like, 'cause I obviously didn't really go down after he had passed and everything like that. Um, like, like my family was Canadian. Everyone, like, so, like, they didn't have any reason to go down there, and felt I didn't trust it yet, just in case it was a planned thing. If I was suddenly down there looking around, like what would they
Yeah.
do? Like
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
and word
Asking
gets
the wrong
around.
person.
Yeah, exactly. And I stand out when I go to a
Yeah.
country where people don't naturally look like this.
Yeah. So, did you have the same kind of look then
Oh no,
when
no,
you were down there, or when you
no,
were
not
in
even.
Nigeria?
I actually had short, bleached, blonde Eminem styled hair back then. I was a big
Okay.
fan of him growing up as well. I wasn't all rock and roll back in the day, but yeah, no, like and I actually was signing autographs for Eminem when I was in Brazil. Because he was
Just
playing
saying you were
in Rio
Eminem.
de Janeiro, and these really gorgeous girls came up to me and they're like, "Are you Eminem?" And I'm like, about to say no, but then I came to my senses and was like, yes.
Yes.
Uh,
Absolutely,
yeah.
I'm Eminem. Like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
thanks for coming
And
to the show.
oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like everybody in the area, because it's this area in Macaé, which is like about 3 hours outside of Rio de Janeiro, um, and that's where my father was living with Macaé, and um, Caballeros
Oh,
was this sort of like huge patio with like a little strip mall of like places, like they had a little cafe with a bakery, um, places like a bar and all this sort of stuff, and then the ocean with like the beach and the ocean was right there, and that's where everybody would go on a Friday, Saturday night to go and just hang out and party and like have a good time, right? Like out like you
yeah.
can drink on the street down there, obviously, right? Like um and yeah, no, so like that's where I was. So automatically, everybody else who had now seen me signing these autographs, people start coming up from every which way. And then my friends that knew me are like, "What's going on there?" So they come over and they're like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "They think I'm Eminem." They're like, "Just go with it."
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yes,
this is my
and
entourage.
yeah. Like, who are these people?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my entourage. Don't even worry about it. Like, they're here with me. Take care of them.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
good
I
people.
probably made so many
Yeah,
people's lives that night, that they
yeah.
still to this day probably think that they actually met Eminem or something like that.
Do you ever
Meanwhile,
see
it was
those
just little
pictures?
18-year-old
Yeah,
delinquent me frickin' trying to get
yeah.
laid or something.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I see pictures online. It was like, hey, here's my picture of me and so and so, and it's like,
Oh yeah.
okay, yeah, that's not them, but yeah, sweet dude. Like
Yeah.
that's
Oh, now
totally
I
who
get
you
stuff
are.
like Jared Leto or like when I get my mustache
Okay.
going, Johnny Depp or something like that. Like,
Okay. So,
yeah, yeah. Which I enjoy those a little bit more than Eminem. No offense to Eminem and all, but you know, like yeah, Jared
different
Leto's
time.
pretty dope.
So what happens then? I mean, like, because so I talked to this guy. I had him on the show, and he was a Howard Stern impersonator, and
Oh, really?
yeah, and like this is a wild world. I got a little
Is this
peek
the
into
guy that
the.
actually does? Sorry for interrupting. This is the guy that
That's
actually
okay.
does all like a bunch of different accents. Like, or did he only
Uh,
do that
I think it's a different guy. Like this guy just
one?
does Howard Stern, and he's like a very straight laced guy. Doesn't swear or anything. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's
No,
pretty.
he's made to actually do like radio work or something like that. If he has a voice like that, um, usually
Yeah,
those guys end up getting into radio, and you're not really supposed to swear on radio. It's not like a podcast where you can get away with it. I don't know
right.
how much I've been swearing, but I'm actually
Uh,
pretty good at doing the like I'm able to put it in under control when I need to. Like
yeah,
something about being in the entertainment industry is you have to know your crowd. You have to know where like where
right.
you're allowed to do certain things. If you're in public, you can't be swearing. You can't be being belligerent too much, like because you got a reputation to behold, to be there for the public, and you have to respect that people have kids, like all sorts of stuff like that, right? So I
Yeah,
mean, like yeah, it really depends on. Like, it's like even with busking, which I've been doing a lot of since being here in Calgary, and I just love going out and playing down there, right? Like it's just so much fun, and I make enough to live, so like it's perfect,
fuck
right?
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, no, so like I've been doing a lot of that. And then like there's songs that I do, like Creep by Radiohead, and you'll just see some parents sort of go like that, waiting for it, and like, and
yeah,
then I don't do the swear, right? So like during the day, I'm it's like a PG version of the song. It's like if there's certain like 'cause there's always another word for fuck. Like you can say
what's your
something else.
word?
Um,
What?
Oh,
What's your
in
instead of fuck?
Creep, it's
If
very, like,
sure,
instead of saying
okay,
fucking special, you're very special.
like
I
on the
learned that one
radio
from
edit.
karaoke, actually. But then the other
Okay,
song is Kid Rock's Only God Knows Why. And then he says
okay,
fuck in that one. And instead of fuck, I say stuff, I think it is.
all right, yeah.
Or no, I
And
say screw for fuck. I say screw for fuck, and then I say stuff for when it says shit. Right? Like, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's an easy one.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It's just nice to do for like the parents, like so they don't have their kids. I mean, they've got YouTube now, so
yeah,
I mean, they've heard it all already. So like like they're not
right,
gonna notice it in a song where it's sung once. It's not like it's Hot Dog by Limp Bizkit where he says the word fuck 42 times or
right,
something like that. It just yeah.
yeah. Is that one of your other songs you like to do, or is that just
Oh, and Limp
an
Bizkit?
example? Yeah, do you?
Oh
Yeah.
no, 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 no! I don't do that. No.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm like, oh, what do you do for 42 times saying fuck? So then, if you're busking, so like, I mean, so if you're doing a show at an establishment of some sort,
Yeah,
um, like you can kind of like for me, I like talking about this. Like I like going and I'm always the guy looking through the curtains, like seeing what's going on, looking at the audience before I'm doing anything,
trying
even if
to tout them a bit. Yeah,
yeah. So like, I mean, what do you do when you're busking, or if as opposed to if you're playing a show in a an establishment of some sort, or is it
yeah.
matter? Is it the same?
No, actually, like I was hoping I would get to answer this one. Uh, that's actually the whole thing is that you can't. With busking, you don't know who's going to be listening or doesn't want to listen or does want to listen. Um, it's totally a different atmosphere than doing a show. At a show, everyone's there to see you or to see one of the other bands that sounds similar to your style, but that's why you're playing together, right? So, I mean,
Right.
there's a good chance that they're going to like your shit. So you're not really, you don't have those nerves going on, right? Like, and
Yeah.
outside, y- people don't want to hear you necessarily. You just suddenly show up and just start setting up stuff, and then you start playing this like loud, obnoxious music to them or something like that. Like, so you never know if you're going to get that or if you're going to get people that, I remember the first time that I did it. I was more nervous than the first ever show I did back in 2010. Like I was
Oh
way
shit.
more nervous, like trying to get out there. I actually had to call my girl and be like, "Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
don't. Can you just come and get me? I can't do it today. I don't know what to do because like I didn't really know the area yet. I didn't know anything like about anyone. And then I came down the next time, and then that's when I was actually able to do it. And that's when I said about that story of being down in Victoria, Calgary. That's where I am right now in Calgary, and like that's yeah, it's a totally different vibe. It is, it really is,
Yeah.
and I actually like that though because there's also all those people that normally wouldn't like your kind of music. I've had people that are in their 70s and like their 80s come up and be like, "Your voice is so lovely," and
That's a
and
good
it's like,
fucking
oh, if you
feeling.
heard it with electric guitars, you wouldn't think that, but. And that's the thing. Like a lot of
Holy
people
shit.
don't understand that about rock and roll either. Is our our training that we do with our voice, whether we trained ourselves or someone else trained us,
Yeah.
and those voices are a lot harder to do than most people actually understand. Whether you're doing
Absolutely.
growling or whether you're just doing the singing, um, like because like the stuff we are doing with our voice, and we're shaping these notes coming out in ways that they aren't natural necessarily, like for a voice, right? I mean,
Right.
and we use a lot of projection and dynamics, and then you get like these pop singers that sing all quiet and are not really doing anything too talented in my eyes. But
Yeah.
like I mean, there's certain pop
Right.
singers out there that I would give
Sure.
them benefit of the doubt. They actually have talent, like Ed Sheeran, like that guy can sing like and
Yeah.
shit like that. But but for the most part, us rockers
Th- th-
you get very underestimated appreciated a lot of the time by the public just because of our the image, the rebellious side of it, and the distortion in the guitars. You know,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And so I mean, like, so when you're out busking, are you plugged in at all, or are you?
Oh
Is
yeah,
this
yeah,
all okay?
yeah.
So, all
I wouldn't do it
right,
if I wasn't. that,
yeah,
that's when it gets awkward. Is if you're just sort of standing there with your guitar and you don't have a mic and everything. It doesn't feel
yeah,
as professional, and I need it to feel professional in the environment because that's where I feel at home with music. So yeah.
yeah. So okay,
Mm.
so then back to 2010. Where was that? Where were you set up that first time? What's were
Oh,
you
that was
in
actually at a
Vancouver?
open mic that I had done in 2010. I was doing busking in 2009 to about 2010, and I got like this guy that I was starting to jam with, and him and I went to this place called the Rusty Gull in North Vancouver,
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah, yeah, and it's and like before we were going down there, we were practicing in his like apartment or whatever. And I think I was sleeping on his floor at the time because I had a little bit of trouble with homelessness when I was younger. And
Yeah.
yeah, and then yeah, but he or I was like they sort of like going faint in a way because I was trying too hard to sing with too much projection because I was nervous because I hadn't done this yet. I'm like, this is my career. Like, I'm gonna take off right away. Little did I know, but you know,
Right.
like, but yeah,
All the,
and then I got introduced to the industry, and it's a little different, but yeah, no,
yeah.
they're like, and so going in there, I was so nervous, like I couldn't even really go through the doors yet, like like we were already in there. But now we were like standing outside smoking, and I'm like, I don't know if like, what if I faint on stage for my first ever show? And even though in the back of my head I was like, that would be an epic
That'd be
story.
sweet. Yep.
But
Yeah. Yep.
you
As
know,
long, hopefully
so
someone
what I
got that
did
on
is
camera.
right here I would be like, I'd be talking about that instead. But no, what I did is I
Yep.
went down to Lonsdale Key, where there's a McDonald's, got some greasy ass freaking cheeseburger, and
Yeah.
soaked away the nerves in that grease, and then came back, went right up on stage, kind of looked down, and I was still sort of shaking a bit. And then I looked up as he started playing, and I looked up right before I had to start singing, and I just like it was nothing. I had no nerves ever again until busking
Holy
in
shit.
Calgary.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and that would have been
Whoa.
last year. So like it was a good 15 years without any nerves. But
So
yeah, yeah, and then
so what?
suddenly yeah, because it's just a different environment, and I didn't know that until after I had now done all of these shows for 15 years and been on like a professional circuit, in a sense, like you know, like being
Yeah.
around all these rock stars, and then now I'm back to square one, and it was like I don't know if I could do this. It's like I don't know if that person's gonna like my stuff or if that person's gonna like it. Pretty sure that one will, you know, like, or something like that, right? But yeah,
Yeah. And then someone does, and I mean, like you were saying, like you know, once one person gets it, then other with Eminem, like what
yeah,
people thinking you're Eminem, they're like, then they see like, oh shit, like that's Eminem, like that really, that's got to be him. If like people are coming up to him
yeah,
and
oh, yeah.
asking for, and then like more people start coming up, um, and I mean, yeah, I assume it's like that with the with busking there, and then yeah, more people start coming, and yeah, it's just different. Like when there's no one really watching, and
Yeah.
yeah. So then, I mean, are you fighting for territory with other buskers out there?
Well, we have a thing here in Calgary that's called the Stampede. Um, that time of year, it's always in the beginning of, it's the first Friday in July that it starts. And it's a big rodeo that happens. It's the biggest one in the world, actually. Like they get the guy, I think it's actually got, they get more points for that one than they do in Vegas for like the finals or something like that. Um,
Holy shit!
and to get more people show up. Yeah, because it's a very well known event on the rodeo circuit, obviously. Um,
Yeah,
and So
Well,
we'll be trying to like, set up outside of there, and like, of course, like that's when things will start to get heated and all that. But
okay.
for the most part, like the actual
Yeah.
buskers that are like they do it as a job. Those we all have a respect factor for each other. To where if someone
Well,
comes up and says, "How long you gonna be here?" Technically, we're only really supposed to do 2 hours because after 2 hours,
oh,
your music's going to start getting obnoxious to people that are trying to enjoy their meals or their drinks or whatever at like a patio or something like
yeah.
that, right? So you have to move along and move to a different spot, like for the most part.
Okay.
But if nobody comes up, and they haven't seen that you've been there for a couple hours, sometimes people will be like, "Oh yeah, I just got here not too long ago," when they've been there for 2 hours or something like that. But
Right.
me myself, I can't go longer than 2 hours at a time. I need to take a break because of my like vocal range and like the dynamics that I'm using,
Yeah.
and projection and everything like that. And I get so into it, with my passion and everything, that it takes a lot out of me. If I am going any longer than that, I'm going to destroy my voice. I've done it before. I did it last year. I did it back in 2015 as well when I was partying a little bit too much. And I went down to about 1 octave, and I have about a 3 to 3.5 octave range,
Holy shit.
um, depending on how I'm doing that day, really. So, like, going down to 1 octave was not good. And for those that are going to listen that don't know what an octave is, there's 8 chords in the scale for musical notes, and then there's 5 different um, octaves of these chords, right? Like that you can sing, or the notes that you can sing, or whatever, right? So, like, yeah, that's sort of what an octave is. It's just like the next. I don't know. It's sort of hard to explain. I'm not a teacher. I just do this stuff.
Well, okay. So then going back to that, then. So you said that you were like, how did you train your voice? Did you have someone helping you, or did you do
Oh,
it?
I'm
You knew
self-taught.
what you were doing. You're self-taught.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'm self-taught, but I did
How?
finally take, like, I think it was 4 singing lessons back in 2015 when I was like losing my range. Um,
Yep.
and that's I needed to do it for breathing technique because I obviously hadn't learned how to breathe correctly in between notes, and how to actually sort of enunciate the notes coming out as well. Like I was doing like a huh at the beginning of every line, and that automatically takes so much of your breath out, and then you're
Right.
going off of fumes for the whole line that you're trying to sing without having to
Oh, shit.
sound out of breath or getting a rasp going that's like too much, and then you're just destroying your vocal cords. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
certain way that you have to do it where it's like that, and then you have to sort of let the notes like flow out more smoothly rather than a go like like, and it's
Yeah.
um, yeah. I mean, I do
Yeah.
more notes right now, but like people are sleeping here in Canada, so in my house right over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So,
That, that's fair. That's what later on when people can go in the description and listen and watch
mhm.
what you do.
Yeah,
So
sir.
then, uh, so what happened when you weren't able to sing for a bit? Like when your voice was gone. What
Depression.
happened with?
Definite depression. Like I there was that because like I thought my career was over.
Oh
And like
shit.
I mean, I'm a very dramatic, like as they call it, divas, like because like the singers. I call it actually myself. I call it lead singer disease, where
Okay.
LSD. It's a terrible thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
In that
Um,
sense. Yeah.
right? I know in so many ways. Yeah, but like we've got like this whole idea that we've had our whole lives a lot of the time, right? Because singers usually start singing around 5. Guitar players will usually start playing guitar around 12 to 15, right? So we've had a vision
Yeah.
our whole lives of being this rock star, right? Like,
Yeah.
so I mean, when it's all falling apart, yeah, it's very hard on us. And like I was using um cocaine a lot back then. Like I've been clean now for a while, uh, because I
Yeah.
realized that that's what was destroying my voice more than anything. Like
Sure.
doing like lines and then trying to sing just doesn't really go hand in hand. And that's always
Yeah.
been the issue with rock and roll, is that the drugs and all that was very around rock and roll for a long time. Now it's kind of getting to the point where the producers are just like, if they see that we're doing that, they'll just be like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, we're not dealing with you. We don't need another Motley
Oh.
Crue.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I think they do need another Motley Crue, because really the world could use that right now. But,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. I agreed. So I mean, so then okay. So then, when you weren't able to create then that way, were you able to create in other ways, or was it just like I'm stuck and this is
I just
nothing?
had to change up my style. Um, like if I was still able to hit notes for the most part, like when once that happened, if I would stop singing for like 5 or 6 days, like that'll start healing the voice, right? Like, and if that's all it needs, is
Right.
you need to just sort of learn to not, like, don't be screaming at the, like before you have to go on stage at a show just so people can hear you, because like usually at shows you have to like sort of yell. So the singer should not even be out there watching the shows. The singer needs to be, unless he's very good at just not talking. I'm not. So
Glad you're
so
here.
I learned that I need to kind of just keep myself out of the areas where it's loud, because when you're yelling to be able to talk to people, that's going to do damage on your vocal cords. So like, and a
Right.
lot of the time, and that's why, like, if like you ever get a chance to try and meet a singer before their gig, if you're like side stage or something when they're going by, they're not going to say anything. The rest of the band will talk. Like I had that
Yeah.
happen with this band called Monster Truck, another one of the hidden gems from Canada. And like the whole band except for the singer, which obviously I was hoping that the singer would talk, because like I was
Yeah.
being a singer myself, right? And I
Right.
love those guys, but he was pretty quiet. But I understand it now. Like he had a freaking scarf on, and it's summer, right? Like so I mean,
Whoa.
but yeah, but you have to keep your full. Well, you have to really protect your throat
Yeah.
when you're a singer, because this is your instrument, right? Like your instrument isn't
Right.
a guitar that if you break a string, you can just put a new one on. It takes a lot more to fix your voice if
Yeah.
you screw it up. That's for sure. Yeah, like I've
Holy
heard
shit.
stories, and it's you gotta be smart about what you do when you're like when you're a singer. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It fucking it sucks not being able to be able to use your voice like that. Like that's it's fucking it's pretty shitty. And like yeah, having to yeah, I had some shit with my vocal cords, and it was fucking it fucked me up. Like it fucked me up bad.
Yeah.
And so like
Yeah. You said you did like comedy and stuff like that, right? Like the stand up comedy.
yeah, wasn't any good, but I did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, but like well, yeah, once my fucking voice like with and this too, like I mean, like I gotta pace myself and make sure that it's okay. Luckily, like hypnosis, I get to talk quietly, which helped a lot. But like my voice was thrash. I couldn't do shit, and that was probably from yelling and screaming a lot
Mhm.
without being properly trained. Like I guess probably with wrestling too, like yelling and screaming and
Yeah. Yeah.
way out of my
Exactly.
range. Like it's fucking it's stupid. Like there should be you know, ways to be like people should know this, like especially like you, like with you being a singer. So are you you're playing anything with you while you're singing, or are you just straight singer, or
Yeah.
what's your
I've
style?
got an acoustic guitar on when I do the busking. Obviously, I play electric for shows. I like not having to play guitar in a show because
Yeah.
I like to dance around the stage in my sort of very unique style that I do. It's very heroin skeetish or whatever the heck that is, like the heroin skeet. That's
Okay.
Mick Jagger, Axl Rose, Scott Weiland. From Stone Temple Pilots, Velvet
Yeah.
Revolver, right? Like, yeah. So, like, those guys, the way that they dance, I sort of put that in, and I added a bit of a like from samba. I used to dance samba down in Brazil, um,
Oh, shit.
and yeah, and so I did that growing up. So I sort of used that with the heroin ski, put those two together, and then you get like this kind of it sways a lot like Axel, like Axel
Okay.
used to sway back
Yeah.
in the '90s and the '80s. Yeah. Now he only
Oh,
sways with his upper body because he's probably got bad hips. But
yeah. Yeah. Probably. So I mean, like, what kind of exercise do you have to do to make sure your fucking hips don't go out? Like, are you just, or are you doing
oh, I
other?
don't.
If you're
Now
okay.
I just hit 40 this year, and I got sciatica for like longer than a day for the first time in my life.
Oh
And
shit.
so yeah, no, I'm learning now to do stretches, of course, for that, but which I do have to do before and after shows. Because I also had the sciatica when I was trying out for a band before I came here, and I was in Vancouver still. I was trying out for this one band, and everything was going great for the first like couple of times. But then the third time, my back like just started hurting. Like if I was now dancing around the stage and doing my thing, like doing spins and like in one spot sort of thing like that, and then like doing whatever. And then my back started to hurt,
Yeah.
even when I would sing, like even when I'd hit certain notes, and like
Yeah.
I was like
Feel it in your
laying
lower
down by
back.
the end of it, trying to still sing, and like laying
Holy
there,
shit.
and they're like, "Yeah, you know what, man? I don't know." And the funny thing is, they were all older than me, and I was the one that was having the back problems.
Oh shit.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So so I have to watch for that. My back,
Yeah.
lower back, is now troubling and with ulcers as well. So that's a stress related thing. From it also, sure the partying didn't help on that, but yeah, the stress there. So I
Yeah.
mean, like there's things you got to look out for, right? Like
Right.
yeah, but I find the singing helps with ulcers because it gets the pressure inside of the body. It sort of takes away from the pain or something. I don't know, but no,
It's also the breathing.
I'm not a doctor, so I don't know. But I mean, a lot of
You
the time they don't
yeah.
know either, anyway. So
Right. Well, the breathing. You're doing controlled breathing, and that's going to help with the ulcer. That's going to
yeah,
help with a lot, and stress as well too. Yeah.
yeah. Breathing
That'll
technique for that is yeah, because when you're stressed, you're breathing quicker. You're and that's gonna
right.
only amp up your body because it makes your heart start to go faster because it's having to work harder, right?
Yeah.
Like and all that.
Your
Yeah,
body's going to
keeping
tighten up.
yeah, you have to keep nice, slow, long sort of breath when to like sort of
Yeah.
just keep yourself calm and keep your heart down a lot of the time, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah. So, so when you're doing a long performance, like what's the longest performance that you've done when like at once
Like at
before
once.
you're like fuck then you're like I went too long or
Um, for a show, I didn't usually go over an hour because like we'd have three bands playing. I was the promoter for those shows a lot of the time. But
oh shit
but I'd always make us like headline, so we would get one of the hour slots or something like that. But the longest I've done outside at once was probably about 3 hours. And I did that just to know that I could, because that's what
Yeah.
Foo Fighters do every time I've seen them multiple times. I'm
Uh,
hoping to go see them when they come to Edmonton in September here. This time,
cool.
hopefully we'll finally get to meet him.
Yeah.
Like, that's my idol. But Foo Fighters,
Okay.
they'll do 3 hour sets, and
Shit.
for them, that's why, like, you'll hear about halfway through like a tour, Dave Grohl has to take a couple of shows off because of his
Yeah.
style of singing. Right? People don't understand how much strain us singers are putting on our voices when we are on a tour. It's
Yeah.
like you're having to play every 2 days, sometimes back to backs, right? And it's very strenuous for our vocal cords. That's for sure.
Yeah. So then, okay. So if you're on tour, like, what's the craziest place that you ended up at? Like, I know, like, I don't know, like, I did some interesting spots. I know I went up to Bella Coola one time. Uh, you know Bella Coola up,
Yeah,
okay, up there by Alaska, sort of. And like, we went up, we were supposed to do a Friday and Saturday show, and someone in the community died. So like they ended up canceling the Friday show, and we did two on Saturday. But like, I mean, just went to kind of the middle of nowhere, which
yeah.
was cool. Like, and like, but and yeah, I have also, had it in California outside of a Walmart. Like, some fucking weird spots that you go. Do you have any weird
Yeah,
places you've set up, or is it always been if you're booking, you probably have a better idea of where you're going to go and where you're going to set up, and you're not picking
yeah.
Chico, California Walmart parking lot.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I mean, probably the weirdest one for me would have been on Vancouver Island. Um,
Oh,
and we were playing in, what was that place? I think it was Ladysmith, actually, where Pamela Anderson's from and all that. She didn't come,
okay,
like, that,
yeah,
that would have been
not
awesome.
that one.
I know,
Yeah,
right? Like, that would
right.
be a childhood dream
We're
come true. I'd be like,
yeah,
I'm your next Tommy Lee.
yeah, right.
But yeah,
Oh,
no,
signing autographs earlier.
but like there was my friend at the time, like he brought out his sister with him, which was not a good idea, because she was
Okay,
pretty nice
yeah,
looking, and I was a piece of shit. So, so those
yeah.
two things went hand in
That's
hand. But then she
yeah.
ends up bringing me up to this like after party, and it was it was a biker after party, and
Oh,
yeah, and I guess one of the guys there didn't like that I was with her, and so I got stuck
oh
now
shit.
in Ladysmith, trying to hitchhike back because I told the guys I was like, oh, it's okay, because it was the end of the tour, right? Like they were going back down to. It was just like a little tour that we were doing up island. They were
Yeah,
going back down to Victoria. They had to be down there by the next day or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, it's okay. I'll make my way back down. I had no idea how I was getting back down yet.
right. But you wanted to get
I just
laid,
really wanted to, fuck this girl.
Right. Yeah.
I did get to. It was very nice. I had a great time. Um, did lose a friend out of it. But,
That might happen. That's
it
understandable.
does. It does. And like
Yeah.
it's either it's supposed to be meant or it's not, right? Like so.
Right. And so, okay, um, so was there something you would always bring on tour? Like if you got bored, or were you always like, I don't know, did you have a book you would read, or were you listening to other music, or did you bring a Game Boy, or were you doing crossword puzzles, or were you,
Um, I'd
you
always
know,
have people
writing?
around. I was a
Okay.
very much center of attention, kind of like always wanted to be in the spotlight kind of guy when I was younger.
LSD.
And I would get on my phone and try to find a girl to bring over to, like, you know, I knew girls in all the places that we'd go and play. I never got to do any big tours, like any world tours or anything like that, or full Canada or anything. But like I made sure I had somebody that I knew wherever we were going to play, whether it was going over to Vancouver from Victoria or vice versa, or you know, like, so I would always have somebody to talk to and, you know, insert things into, and you know,
Yeah, yeah, that's a good way to pass the time. You
it
know,
is.
that's
It really is.
that,
Yeah, yeah. And I gotta have like
yeah.
multiple, like, you know, they do. I was living the rock star life, even though I may have not
Okay,
hit that fame yet, and I still
doesn't
haven't, but
matter.
hopefully one day, right? But
Yeah,
you know, but like, rock star is a lifestyle. Rock star is not the label in any other way, other than it being a lifestyle. You can be a rock star without having albums out and millions of dollars. Uh,
right.
it's how you live
Absolutely.
your life is what makes you a rock star or not, right? In my
Yeah,
eye, yeah. So I was a
yeah.
definite
Okay.
rock star in my day.
So, I mean, then are you? Let's see. So then, when are you recording your work, or do you have like
Yes.
producers that are
Yeah.
doing it, or are you the producer?
Finally got tired of not having anything happen with it, and like, well, bands would always break up right before we were going to do the album, because I was a little bit of a dick to work with when I was younger, because I had that vision, and it's hard to get four egos that have their own egocentric vision of what they want to all work together and make something happen. Like, you got
Right.
to give kudos to the guys that have, but um yeah, but so like that never really worked for me. So now I'm just writing everything myself on my laptop, and then just sort of doing it here and sort of getting the songs at least good enough that I can send them to this producer that I will be having mix and master um all of our stuff, and then I would just do the recordings from here. Um, of course, like, you got to have the right equipment, obviously, to do that and all that, right? Like with microphones, certain condenser mics for certain things. I write the drums in a program called Logic Pro. They have a really good system there for writing drums that I find is the closest to the real thing. So yeah, but obviously that when it actually is getting mixed and mastered, I would have the producer, he'll just get a session drummer to come in and do it, so they can have the mics all set up on the drums, and like, because like it's a very noticeable difference in the end when you can't turn down one tom or turn up the crash cymbal, right? Like, if you can't really do that if you're using drums from a program. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
It's just drums.
yeah.
Uh, shit. Okay, you might. Fuck. All right. Uh, I don't know how much I want to say here, but yeah, I was just thinking about working on something of that nature, and maybe I can use you as a consultant. I have some ideas.
Yeah.
So yeah, um, yeah. So I don't know. I just started thinking about that yesterday, and I was talking to my friend that I used to make music with, and uh, but that's an interesting thought right there. Um, okay,
Mhm.
so
Logic Pro is probably the easiest to use for beginners on learning how to record and mix and master and all that. Because I'm not an engineer myself, but I'm learning as I go and getting closer to it every time. But Logic Pro is good, but and you can only use that on a Mac. And it sounds like
fuck
you have a
that.
Mac as far as I'm. remember you saying
Yeah.
earlier. So that would be what your go-to, and it's free as far or no, I think they have a subscription for it if you want to go with the pro. But there's ways around it, and you can get it for free by getting the free trial for
Right.
60 days and then just reinstalling it every time the trial runs out. And yeah, don't tell too many
Yeah.
people one.
Right. Yeah. That's for the Patreon or something like that.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah. It's
exactly.
I mean, yeah. When you're a musician, you have to get creative, and
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, and I mean now it's a lot easier. Like, um, I've heard people that come in with their phone, plug it into the PA, and they're fucking going, and like
yeah,
that's it. It's
yeah.
wild. Like, because I think I started like at the same time you did, and there was a lot of stuff that I used that was analog, and
Yeah.
so trying to find connectors to bring it to digital was
Yeah, analog
difficult.
and the
We
8 tracks or whatever and all that sort of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and like we had, you know, Fry's or Radio Shack, or that was it. And so
yeah.
like we'd have to get like a few different
I remember
things,
Radio
maybe
Shack.
like
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, and it was a bitch. But and then it was
yeah,
like then Amazon came along and it's like I need this connected to this, connect to this.
yeah,
But it's like go on Amazon, I'm like, I need this connected to this. Okay, here's a piece that's already made. And it's like,
yeah, yeah,
this is
yeah.
fucking
It
crazy.
does all that for you. Yeah.
Yeah. And have to bring, like the load in isn't this
They've made it
huge,
very user
huge
friendly, a
thing.
lot of these things. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean like so when you're going out, like how much are you taking with you? Is it a case plus another case?
Yeah, I've got like a suitcase on like just like a two-wheeled suitcase, like that you'd bring to an airport or something like that.
Okay.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
that's what I'm traveling with. A lot of people use those wagons or something like that.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
I found like the wagons, like the wheels were going on the wagon that I had, basically almost right away. So I just never got another one. I just bring it down in a suitcase and then, um, yeah, and then I just take everything out. I've got a big amp that it looks like a speaker or like a monitor or that you would have on stage at a show. And
Okay.
it's called an EXM Mobile 12, and it doesn't need like it's got a charger and all that stuff. So I mean, like it runs without wires and everything. And so I
Cool.
just plug into it with my cord, and I don't need to worry about anything else. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty good because like there's
So
a lot of the time you can't plug into anywhere when you're trying to play outside, right? So
right. Yeah, you're lucky if you can find that outlet.
yeah,
Like, oh shit,
very
this is
lucky.
awesome. And now it's like now you have it all as a self-contained.
Yeah, the
With
less the chords, the better, really, because me and chords don't
yeah,
get along.
same. I do. When I had fucking boxes and boxes of cords, and then it's like, oh, dude, I'm gonna need this one. I can't get rid of it. Like, so it's gonna. Then I'm like, yeah, I don't know how many fucking cords I had, and then just
When they
I
get
got rid of
tangled up
them.
and all that stuff, it's just like too much.
Yeah,
I get
yeah,
frustrated very easily, and then I think I'm like, and go
yeah.
halt on the thing or something. Yeah,
Throwing them all over the fucking place.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've had diva moments outside there, like even doing the busking. I've had moments where I've kicked my amp and like because I made like $4 or something, and I'm
Okay.
like a
So
$1,500 guarantee. This is bullshit.
yeah. So then what happens then? So is that like you pack up, you go home,
Oh
call it
yeah,
a
yeah,
day then,
and,
or
and then just do it a
okay,
different day. Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
but
go
so
right
that's
back.
the one thing about busking is there is days where you're not going to make anything, and you have to sort of
Yeah.
calculate to which days those are going to most likely be. over time. And I find Thursday is a bad one because that's the day before most people's payday, right? And
Oh,
people
yeah.
feel more friendly with their money right after they've gotten paid. Friday, Saturdays are obviously the best day. And there's the Monday can sometimes be good for some reason. And
Okay.
Tuesday and Wednesday is just don't bother really going out unless there's a show or something like that, or a Flames game, or
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Okay. So then you're hanging outside the arena then for that too,
oh, of course,
whenever
yes, yeah, oh, yeah.
there's, okay.
Scotiabank, yeah, the Scotiabank Saddle Dome. There, yeah, I'm always outside there for every event that ever happens. Corn, when they came and played here, I made 500 plus in
Oh,
span
shit.
of maybe about an hour of work. So I mean, yeah,
Fuck
like
yeah.
yeah, it's definitely
Yeah.
worth it in the end, right? That'll put the food in the mouth, right? So
Yeah. That's fucking
yeah,
awesome. Okay. Well, yeah, thank you for being on here. It's
yeah,
good talking with you. And so I'll put down in the description how people find you, and you can, how do people find you? What
all
are
right,
they going to search?
man, rock and roll then.
Yeah, fucking rock and roll. You guys, this is the Public Access Podcast. I'm Rusty Diamond. Check me out, rustydiamond.net. I'll put it in the description. That has everything you need. And that's the show, man.
Yeah.
Who